25 minutes to 8 o'clock. I'm glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. We are stepping into the Take Note conversation on combating corruption through rewarding integrity. And that is a conversation, of course, that is both interesting as well as eye-opening. And I'll be introducing a very interesting guest very shortly. But the preamble is that the National Citizens Integrity Awards are organized under the theme Promoting Integrity for a Corruption-Free and Sustainable Society. This is an annual event that aims at recognizing public servants who serve with honesty and integrity, and the tradition of awarding such people for the organizers or conveners started in 2016. Now, I know wherever you are, you understand exactly what corruption is and the kind of hand that it has on our society today. Now, in the midst of all that pressure, that one individual will not bend to the whims of the scent of money in the conduct of duty is something that should be applauded. Out there in this country, practices have been tolerated, and even those that have been known to be thieves and have made away with taxpayers' money are glorified. Now, there are individuals in this nation who have chosen to get hold of that arc and bend it towards a whole new culture that is about honesty and integrity in the conduct of duty. Mary Munyagwa, welcome to Morning at NTV.
Thank you so much.
Mary Munyagwa is the overall winner of the Integrity Awards that the gala and the finale was last evening. I'll be coming to you very shortly and take us through what it means to work honestly and with utmost integrity. Allow me to introduce Xavier Ejoyi, the Country Director for AAIU International Uganda. Welcome to the program too.
Thank you and good morning. Yes.
And let me begin with you because you are the conveners of the gala and the organizers of the National Citizens Integrity Awards. Take us through what this is, but also afford us the criteria to be able to select that among the millions of civil servants and other actors in the political, economic, and social space within the country, these ones have conducted themselves with integrity and honesty.
Thank you so much. So, ActionAid International Uganda and other civil society organizations, as you know, are on the front line of fighting corruption in this country, at least providing the platform for citizens to fulfill their obligation, as stated in Article 17 of our Constitution. The duty to fight corruption is attributed to citizens. So we facilitate that process.
Okay.
And in doing, we do that because in our work, we want to end poverty. And we realize that poverty cannot end if resources that are made for public services are diverted for private gain.
That is right.
Services are not provided. And so we continue to do the work on fighting corruption, and we have no apologies to make to anyone regarding that work. However, we also know that in this country, there are public servants who are serving at different levels with integrity. And as one dimension of the fight against corruption, we made it possible for citizens themselves to recognize, and we award those men and women who are serving in public service with integrity. And that process is citizen-led and citizen-focused deliberately, because we know that it is the citizens at the receiving end of corruption, or if public servants serve with integrity, it is citizens also who benefit out of it all. And so the National Citizens Integrity Award started small. In the past, it was largely in the regions where ActionAid worked, in northern Uganda and in eastern Uganda. But it's now a national event. It covers the entire country, And in this process, basically, Action Aid establishes a very simple criteria that citizens can use to nominate men and women of integrity in public service. And the criteria is very simple. Are you a public servant? And if you're a public servant, are you serving with integrity? Do you have on your records that you served with integrity, that you perhaps help to facilitate recovery of funds, or that in your work you make it explicit that the corruption is not entertained, and that in your relationships with stakeholders and service providers that is demonstrated, you serve with professionalism and so on. So there can be an act of integrity that you perform, maybe recovered money. Number 2 is about consistency. You didn't just do something once and wait for the National Citizens Integrity Award to be announced.
I was about to ask that.
It must be consistent, and we're looking backwards about 5 years to ensure that there is somebody who can confirm that over time we've seen you working your way with integrity. And number 3 is basically that you're serving in public service. And just also to put around that, we as organizers, there are 18 organizations that worked with Action Aid to put this together across the country, and media houses and so on. Those are not eligible for nomination. So no staff, board and associate of Action Aid is eligible.
Okay, that's interesting. And of course, like I said earlier, we have with us the overall winner, Mary Munyagwa. Congratulations upon this very significant award that you just take us through how it felt yesterday, and what particularly were those outstanding aspects that were appreciated of you.
Thank you so much, and thank you NTV for agreeing that you come and host us to discuss this event. Personally, I'm so humbled to be here discussing the national awards, the National Integrity Citizenship Award. Yesterday was a lovely day, a lovely evening. It was full of surprises.
I can
yes,
relate.
from the communications I had with my regional coordinator, I thought probably we were nominated by the public, and I'm so thankful to everybody who passed through the nominations and thought that I was qualifying for this great award. And so I came thinking that probably I'm just like any other nominee. So first of all, I was shocked when they came to Best Female Awardee for frontline workers.
Okay.
And for me as a medical doctor, yes, we are serving at the front line, so that was a very good motivation for me. It was an honor to be awarded that.
Okay.
When it came to the climax of overall winner, it took me back. It was like tears of joy, you know?
I understand.
I was like, wow, so the work that we have been fighting for all this time, it is being awarded and it's being appreciated now. And so there is a reason to say, yes, it can be done. Yes, we can move forward. And yes, we can take another step and increase the gear to fight corruption in our different places where we are working. And more so as a frontline medical health worker. Because for us, every act of corruption, it means a life is getting lost. Someone is being denied of quality of service and quality of care, and their health is being affected.
Okay. Thank you. That is a very I don't know even how to put this, but a poignant aspect that brings to the front the ethos when it comes to the medical profession. Just let me stay with you shortly on this. Many times when the nation is faced with the crisis, including strikes by medical workers, the questions are asked and some answers are provided. And people say, but your profession, you save lives, you should be able to first and foremost work on the patient, and then you can ask all the other questions a little bit later. But then somebody would again say, well, we are also people, and we have a life. So what does that mean? Should I put myself at the front line without equipment, without facilitation, simply because my job is to save a life? How do you navigate these complex aspects of your work?
It is not very easy, but again, it depends on what is your principle and what do you value as you do your work. Yes, sometimes the environment is not conducive. There may not be enough supplies, there may not be enough equipment, but I want to say that there is always something that you can work with. There is something that you can capitalize on. And quite often, we as health workers have contributed to these shortages by the different things that we are doing under the name of corruption, but trying to cover it up. For example, if we talk about absenteeism that is happening, it is something that we are grumbling with in the health sector. And by being absent, you are wasting a resource. First of all, you're wasting the time, but that means that for a doctor like me, if I am absent, then I will not guide my junior colleagues to do the right thing. And therefore, at the end of it all, it is going to cascade up to wastage of resources. And eventually, as you waste those resources by delaying the diagnosis of somebody, delaying the review of a patient, increasing their hospital stay. So at the end of the day, you find that this one act that you thought was small, it is actually a bigger thing. And if you're not going to be an upright and an honest person and honest to yourself, at the end of the day, you're actually contributing to the problem that you want to solve.
That is right.
So what I would say is that, yes, even when we have scarce resources, we can always see how to work it out. We can use our different voices, our different associations to lobby, our managers, our leaders to lobby for supplies. For example, I am a medical superintendent at my facility. And so it is my role to ensure that at the planning level, we've planned in adequate resources, depending on the population that we have. But that also goes with having the right data so that you can input the right resources and then be able to get what is enough for you and account for what you have been given.
Okay. For total appreciation of this, please tell us the hospital or the facility where you are based.
Yes. So I am based at Bwera General Hospital. It is a general hospital that is at the border between Congo and Uganda in Kasese district.
Wow, that is lovely. And Mr. Ejoyi, of course, given the history of the outbreaks of disease between Congo and Uganda, to have such a frontline medical worker there is pretty inspiring. What were the other aspects about the awards, for example, in the political space, governance space? That is where the melee is a bit, crowded. Who won in that sector?
So we had 3 categories, and Dr. won the front line, but also the overall. But we had 2 other categories. So just to be clear, each of the 3 categories had 2 winners.
2 winners each.
Except for management, which had 4 winners at the local government level and at the national level. As well as political, which also had at the local government and the national level. And so for the political, we had 2 winners. The female was Honorable Betty Awol. She's former leader of opposition and woman member of parliament for Gulu. So she was the political winner for that category. And then the male was Honorable Geoffrey Feta. He is the member of parliament for Aivu East, and both of them have work that they've done that the vetting committee was able to assess and did their background checks on. And then we had the management category.
And governance,
sorry, before management, the local government, we had, there was a gentleman from Gulu. He was a councillor. I think his name is Bob or Winnie or something like that. I don't remember the lady offhand. But on management, at the central level, we had no winner. So the vetting committee did not get, according to our criteria,
that is right,
a qualification for the no one at the management level, at the national level. And then at the local level, we had 2 winners for management. The local level management, we had, okay, let me just get that clear.
Okay, as you do look for those particular winners, it's a damning assessment for a nation not to have any candidates. Okay, the nominees were there, no doubt.
The nominees,
but
the nominees that the
for
thing,
people not to
the
make
thing with the thing with this process is that the criteria
was
the vetting committee gets to assess, and along the way they can remove a nominee based on the criteria, and they say that we've looked at,
and
or also they can do background checks beyond the information submitted. They can access, make phone calls and get additional information, and then the candidates are ruled out.
Okay.
Or one of the criteria is if you have questionable integrity. It has come up before. You will definitely be disqualified.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Xavier Ejoyi, the Country Director of Action Aid International Uganda, for taking us through that. We are proud as Nation Media Group for having been part of this, and if space and time would allow, we could have had all the winners here so that we can celebrate these videos as ably as we can. And of course, congratulations again, Mary Munyagwa, the frontline winner, and of course overall winner of the National Citizens Integrity Awards. It's inspirational to have you on board, and it's been a pleasure. That will do it for Take Note. And